Hey everyone, it's Aladdin here with the Chase DA Sports Handicapping YouTube channel, and just wanted to thank you guys for our last YouTube video. Absolutely blew up. I mean, 500 views, got like 10 new subscribers from it, almost at 30 now. So really thank you guys for that, and I'm gonna keep pushing out good content with the UFC. So won't waste your time anymore. Gonna jump right into it. Gonna go right into my UFC. I'm just gonna start off with my slight leans here. Nothing crazy. Probably not even gonna bet these guys. Maybe live bet them if I see something. The first one I'm gonna go with is Joe Lozon at plus 143. I just think if you're laying minus 170 chalk for Cowboy, where he is in his career, like the guy hasn't won a fight in literally like 4 years. I mean, guy's a meat shield. The guy just gets destroyed in every fight. But I mean, both these guys are at the tail end of their career, super old. And like I said, this. I mean, if you're betting minus 170 for Cowboy, I just think that's a really bad pick. I think if this fight was like 10 years ago, I think Cowboy would easily win. But I just wouldn't be betting on him at all. So that's why maybe Joe Lozon might be a live dog. So next one we're going with is I'm gonna probably maybe use this in a parlay. Nothing too crazy though. This is probably a low tier ticket. We got OSP versus Shogun Hua, and they got OSP at minus 250. Both these guys got pretty similar records, not the best records. OSP does have a 4-inch reach though, and I believe they're about the same height if I recall. And OSP, his last 3 fights have ended inside the distance, and they actually did fight back in 2014, and it was a really quick knockout. OSP knocked him out in like 34 seconds in the first round. Hua is the sort of he's been on and off. He's won 1-1 in his last 3 fights, and I think he got like TKO'd by like Paul Craig, who like doesn't even have that good of striking to begin with. So I think OSP, honestly, I think he actually gets it done again by knockout. So I'm not gonna bet anything crazy like prop bet, but I think he's a good parlay piece. I think minus 250 for him is a pretty decent price. Both these guys pretty old though, so if they don't finish, they might just get super gassed and might get a really boring, sweaty fight. But I'm gonna trust OSP a lot more than Shogun here. Moving on here, I got my okay, yeah, we got Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson here, and they got him at probably the biggest favorite, minus 400, and I honestly sort of agree with this line. And so Chandler, the only thing he does have a lot of attributes not in his corner though. Like he does have a 5-inch reach disadvantage. He's shorter. He is 2 years younger though, and way more fit. Ferguson has looked like he looked like he's 50 in his last fight against Dariush. He was just getting taken down a million times. So I think Chandler, in order to win this fight, he's gonna have to copy the game plan of Olivieri and of Dariush. Just wrestle, takedown. I know Tony has that Darce choke. He always submits guys with it, but I think if Michael Chandler could just really just put the pressure on and even not just take him down, just hold him in a good clinch, I think he'll really beat up on Tony. Tony's looked like a punching bag in his last few fights. It's really, I don't think Tony has ever been finished besides that one late stoppage against Gagey. So I think Chandler wins by decision, but I mean Chandler could shut anyone's lights out. So I think Chandler is a really good parlay piece. Minus 400's crazy. I know that's a lot of chalk, but use him in your parlays. I think he's a good top ticket guy actually. Moving on from him. I will add one thing. Tony Ferguson, guy has really good striking, I will admit. And he's going to try to keep at range. Like I said, guy has a 5-inch reach advantage. He has really good leg kicks, really good striking. But he has looked extremely hittable in his last 3 fights, I would say, ever since the Gagey one. So I think he could get stopped here for sure. I think it could get really ugly. So moving on from that one, we have the Rose fight. Now Rose has looked very, very good, I think, in her last 2, 3 fights, especially that Waylay fight. That was one of the best female knockouts I've ever seen. That head kick was from hell. But looking at their attributes here, she got a 2-inch reach advantage. She's 5 years younger. She's in the prime of her career right now. Esparza, so they did fight. I have it right here. They fought in 2014 in December, and I watched the fight, and Rose just looked, even way back then, looked way, way better on the feet. Her striking looked way better, and I think she just sort of gassed out or got overconfident because she went to the ground and then she got caught up, she got submitted. So I don't think she'll make that mistake again. And looking at her I think it was against Andrade, her fight against Andrade, where she got head slammed or whatever. Her takedown defense was actually pretty decent. So I think she could stop a few takedowns if Carla's going to go to the ground. It's women's MMA though, so it's hard to make it top ticket. But I do think there's like 3 fighters in women's MMA who have like elite striking, and I don't even want to say elite, but Amanda Nunes, Valentina Shevchenko, and Rose Namajunas. Joanna Jędrzejczyk's pretty good. I'll throw her in there too. But I mean, women's striking in MMA is it's like they're fighting in a dream. So it's just really hard to predict if they're gonna finish or how they're gonna fight. It's just unpredictable for the most part. But I think that Rose at -200 is pretty good value on her. I think she gets the job done, and I'm hoping she gets it done inside the distance. But I think Rose is -200. It's sort of hard to play that. You can't play it by itself, so you sort of need it in a parlay with something. But I will get to that later. I could help you guys out with that. That's why I'm here. But moving on, I like Rose. No more on that one. Now, main card, they got Charles de Bronx Olivieri versus Justin Gagey, and I actually like Olivieri in this one. He's -175 -175, so slight favorite, and I really do think that this guy is just on another level. I mean, looking at his last fights, he just absolutely just menacing, guys. He's won his last 10 fights in a row, and 9 of those have been by finish. The guy is the most lethal submission artist probably ever in the UFC. I think he has the most submissions ever in the UFC. And especially looking at his Poirier fight, he looked really complete in that one. He looked really solid. But I will say Gagey, he does have power in his hands, especially his leg kicks. I think his leg kicks are some of the best in the UFC. He explosive with his calf kicks. Also, I just think at Gagey he has looked a little bit hittable. I would say, he beat Chandler, he dropped Chandler, but I thought that he looked beatable in that fight, and I thought that that definitely Chandler had his chances in that fight for sure. And I've also noticed in a lot of his fights, especially that last one with Chandler, he leaves a lot of stuff open right up the middle, like a stiff jab right up the middle, a good knee, which Olivieri, those are probably 2 of his best weapons, especially that knee. He's just crazy with like a piston, especially his jab too is just so quick. But I really think that Olivieri gets this done, and I actually think he probably gets it. He has 5 rounds. If it was 3 rounds, maybe by decision, but 5 rounds, I think he gets it done. I think if you get him inside the distance, it's probably plus money. Don't mess with submission or knockout. I think he could do either, but I think it's more likely he'll submit him because that rear naked choke, once when he gets that body triangle, that body lock on you, it's there's no escape from that. So I really think that Justin Gagey is a pro wrestler, or I think he was a Olympic wrestler. So I don't think he will be bad on the ground, but I think when it comes to the jiu-jitsu and the scrambling, I think Olivieri will just be on another level, like I mentioned. And he does seem, it's really weird. Olivieri does seem to get like dropped or checked in almost every fight I've seen of his, but he just gets back up instantly. He does have a good chin, it seems like, and as you can see here, he has a 4-inch reach, so I think he will utilize that. And I think yeah, I don't know. He'll probably get, like I said, he probably will get caught. It will be a little scary. Maybe he might be even in the first round, so you might be able to catch him at live money, plus money. So never know. I like Justin. He's a good guy. I just seem like he failed in the Khabib fight, failed in the Justin fight, and I think he'll probably fail here. It just seems like he's gonna not there in the big moments, and no hate on him. I think he's a really good guy, but I think Olivier is gonna go to 11 win streak, gonna become one of the best fighters in this division, and yeah, that's gonna be it for UFC. But my favorite fight, it's not even in the UFC for this upcoming weekend, but it is actually the Canelo fight. And I think that Canelo, I saw him for as low as minus 450 on Bovada, but now he's getting juice. He'll probably be minus 600 on Saturday by the time the fight happens. But I really do think Canelo is the best lock of all the things I will say in this video. So let me get my notes here. Canelo, he does have, the guy's he's considered almost a GOAT at this point. Since 2012, Canelo has fought 20 times, and he's won 18 of those fights. He drew one of them, and he lost one. And that draw was to Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. But he did get the win right after unanimous decision, and that one loss was to Mayweather. The GOAT. Everyone has to know that. And his last 3 fights, Canelo, he's looked absolutely vicious. He's either won by TKO or stoppage or what they call retirement, which basically means like they're throwing in the towel for the other guy. And he's just looked absolutely vicious. And I think fading him is just really, really dumb. And I will admit I've watched Bivol's last 2 fights, and his last 6, he's 19 and 0. His last 6 wins are by unanimous decision. So I think if you're gonna bet on Bivol, just bet him by decision. The guy just seems like 11 out of his 19 wins are inside the distance. But the guy's won his last 6 fights by unanimous decision, and his last 2, I've noticed that he's actually looked decently hittable, and he slows down in the later championship rounds, in the 10 through 12 rounds, especially with his fight against Craig Richards. He looked really slow in that one actually. So I think he will be hittable, especially in the later rounds. He'll probably start off hot, but I think Canelo will be there 100%. He'll dominate the whole fight. Maybe not the whole fight, but he might lose a round or 2. But I think it'll be unanimous decision, and I actually hope that Canelo gets a stoppage. But I think he'll win by decision in this one. As you see, yeah, the over. It's basically saying we'll just go to decision. We'll go 11 rounds, or basically decision, almost 12. Is minus 300, which is just insane, basically. And I agree with that. I think that definitely this will go to decision, and I think Canelo will win. So that will be the best parlay piece in my opinion. I think in ranking, in my opinion, I'm going to have to go with Canelo. Then I'm going to have to go with Oliveira. Then I'll go with Chandler. Then Rose, because women's MMA. And then I'll go with OSP, because they're both 40-year-old washed-up has-beens. And I probably won't even bet on the Lozon Cowboy fight. But if you do bet on that, do not lay minus 170 for Cowboy. That's all you need to know for that one. But this has been a really good video, and I really, really thank you guys again for the continued support. That last UFC video was just out of this world. I know we missed the one Kaimaev inside the distance pick, but if you had him money line in your picks, you went really well, though. Same with Tyson Fury. He won last weekend. He dominated. So we've been doing pretty good here. Just follow me on Twitter at Aladdin, and I'll post any pickups or any new picks because I like to see the weigh-ins, like to see how they look. But other than that, I think that'll be it for me. And I think the next video will probably be a French Open preview video because that's coming up in the next few weeks. So see you guys then, and good luck on all your plays.